Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me as always is Morgan.
Hey, what's up?
This week, BTS released concept clips for their upcoming single, Butter. And there were 18 to 20 second video clips for each member posted on Weverse and YouTube. In the clips, each member would be standing up and interacting with one of the objects from the concept teaser poster. And it turns out everybody was wrong about which object went with which member.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty funny because
Yeah.
even the ones like I thought I was predicting, it's like, oh, this is for sure goes with this person. It's like totally wrong. So I don't know what was meant by that, or if they did that to mess with people because they expected you to pair certain things with certain people. Because like the happy face balloons, like, oh, that has to go with J-Hope, or the jellies, that has to go with Jin because he bought that on a Bon Voyage once. So it's like that must go with him. And the toast with the heart. It's like since J-Hope had a toast meal once on V Live, that must go with him. So it's like all the logic was kind of like thrown out the window.
Right.
But the clips are very different than what people were expecting because with the word butter and with the initial pictures for butter and the font and everything, it told you it would be like very bright and yellow and happy color scheme. And these concept clips were basically the exact opposite. They look more like a dark concept. There's a lot of blue and purple and pink colors instead of yellow and like pastel. So it was basically the exact opposite. So people are kind of confused right now. And I kind of compared it to, remember when Taylor Swift, she had the Reputation era, and that was her being like really tough and wearing a lot of black and stuff. And then the Lover era was her wearing like pastel colors and pink and yellow and flowers and stuff. It's like kind of the opposite, but it's all in one song. So ARMY is kind of confused right now because like, okay, what kind of song is Butter going to be then? Because is it going to be light and happy, or is it going to be a dark concept like what was in these concept clips? And the vibe of the concept clips, it was reminded me of like art house movies or like artsy, like film student kind of footage. Because it would have like this beat in the background, and then they were like interacting with the object or whatever, and it would just like cut to here and there, and it didn't really make sense. And so it just seemed very art school to me. I don't know what kind of vibe you got from that.
Art school? I guess I agree with you.
Because it seemed like with the lighting, the way it was, you're in a theater or something, and there's something
My only
playing.
issue with it, I don't know about the art school stuff. My only issue with it was, from what I could see, people were wearing square-toed shoes. That's super bad. Oh, I can remember when I wore square-toed shoes. Dress shoes.
Don't remember everybody's footwear, but I remember RM had these kind of backless mules, like, and it had very, like it had a square toe.
That's old-fashioned. It might be even retro at this point.
Maybe
I
it's
guess.
making a comeback.
Hopefully not. Hopefully that will never make a comeback. But I can remember around 2010 when I did wear some square-toed shoes. I have to admit.
Square-toed as opposed to pointy-toe?
Not pointy, but just round. Like a normal dress shoe, right?
That's not the style right now.
No, not right now. Hopefully not ever.
They're probably going to make it the style, though, if BTS is wearing it.
Hopefully not. I don't know. But even if BTS makes square-toed come back in style, I still won't be on board.
Were they all wearing a square toe?
No. It was just one shot. But it was something that I noticed. They were definitely wearing square-toed dress shoes.
This could be really relevant to the concept, so it's good that you noticed that. Yeah. Because no one can seem to figure out what is Butter going to be about, or what is the song going to sound like.
Is it going to be about bad dress shoes? I don't think that's going to be about that.
I still think with this new information, my theory will still hold up, that it's going to be about partying in the post-COVID world. So I think that still fits, and I haven't been disproven yet, so we'll see what other evidence we get next week with the clues. So I don't think that Butter is going to tie in with previous eras, because the visuals here in these concept clips was not similar to anything we've seen before. So I think you can get rid of that theory of this is tying in with the previous universe or run or any of that. And I don't know what it's telling us right now. So I think we have more information, but we don't really have a full picture yet still, because nothing seems to add up. Like, we don't know why the Butter logo was so bright and yellow, and then these clips are so dark and have art lighting and seem to be very abstract. Like, what are they even doing in these clips? They're just like, oh, V spills out the jellies on the floor. Like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm not going to try to interpret anything, but I think probably by the end of it, when the video comes out, it will all make sense. So just for the record, the clips and each object, it was like RM had the party poppers, Jungkook had the toast with the butter heart, Suga had the camera and film, Jin had the happy face balloons, J-Hope had the smashed lollipop, Jimin had the drink, and V had the jellies. And that was not what anyone predicted. Another thing that happened this week is that J-Hope's sister got married, and so then some pictures leaked that I saw, and then it got like deleted right away, but I saw them anyway, and it showed that J-Hope had blonde hair. So now we know that, and we also know that RM has pink hair because he posted on Twitter with his dog. So part of the fun of the comeback is like figuring out everybody's new hair colors, and so now we've got that out of the way, like some of the new hair colors. And I think it's funny because RM said he would never do pink hair again, but here he is having pink hair. It must fit with the butter era for him to do that then.
He has blonde hair?
Yeah, RM has pink hair now.
Pink?
Pink, yes.
Okay. Did someone have blonde hair?
J-Hope has blonde hair.
Oh, excellent.
And Jimin has blonde hair. And Jungkook has purple hair.
Jesus Christ, that's very colorful.
Yeah, a lot of different hair colors this time.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think for B, they all had pretty natural hair colors. But I guess this era, it's time for some crazy colors. So I just heard that Soo Man is putting together a US-based boy group, and he's going to call it NCT Hollywood, and it'll have
NCT Hollywood?
A reality show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's this article says MGM Worldwide Television Group is partnering with SM Entertainment to develop a competition series to scout young American men to form a US-based K-pop group. The new boy group, NCT Hollywood, will be the latest subunit of SM's concept group NCT, a growing collective of members, currently numbering 23, who can be combined into various subunits. The talent search will be open to America's most talented males aged 13 to 25. That seems like a very wide range to me.
Wait, 13 to 25?
Yeah.
No. Really?
Because
That's just like too far of a range.
What if you get a lot of 13-year-olds and a lot of 25-year-olds?
Right.
And then it says contestants will be flown to Seoul for K-pop boot camp at SM campus, where in each episode they will compete in dance, vocal, and style tests and will be judged and mentored by Soo Man as well as various NCT members. So I do like that they're doing a show for this because I always like reality shows. And I think Korea has very good reality shows and the US has good reality shows. So I think that partnership can be good, especially knowing that they are using, SM is working with MGM Television. And I didn't even know this, but the chairman of that is Mark Burnett.
Oh, the Survivor guy.
Yeah, and he's behind some of the best reality shows.
He is.
I think if they're doing a show, then they've got the right partner there because Survivor is one of the most iconic reality shows. And Mark Burnett also did The Apprentice, which is a great show. And he does The Voice, so he has a experience in talent shows, even though I don't watch The Voice, and it was just seems like too complicated to watch. But that's fine. Mark Burnett knows how to do reality shows.
Yes, he does.
So I think the TV show part of this deal is a good idea, and they have the right people in place.
It sounds like it's going to be a success.
I just don't know about calling it NCT Hollywood. I just don't think you should call it NCT. I think he should try to call it something else because these people aren't going to be in NCT because it's all new people.
Right.
They're going to be their own group. And I don't like calling something Hollywood. I feel like that's kind of old school. Like, who talks about Hollywood anymore as something cool, you know? Like, Hollywood used to refer to old Hollywood, like Jimmy Stewart or, you know, Elizabeth Taylor, you know, like old movie stars. If you say Hollywood today, I don't think that refers to somebody current. So I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a good idea for the name of the group, but you know, maybe they can get past that and it'll just be popular regardless. And like we said, the age range, like you can't have like some 13-year-olds and some 25-year-olds. You're gonna have to have people all closer to the same age, like whatever age it is, they all need to be the same age for this to work, because I don't think guys are gonna bond to other guys if it's like there's a big age gap there, because there's not going to be a lot in common. So this show was very notable, but I know that we talked about in a previous episode, Hybe is doing something very similar. They're going to have a reality show too, and they're working with Universal Music Group, and so we'll see which show comes out first and how they compare. But that's very interesting that the K-pop companies are thinking that, oh, the way to get to America is to do a reality show there and have, you know, Americans apply to it and be members in this group. They're kind of like doing a produce series, but just in America. So I don't think NCT Hollywood is a very good name. It sounds like a fake group. It sounds like an April Fool's joke. It's like, yeah, we're doing NCT Hollywood, and it's going to have like 12 Americans in it or something. Some very high number of people. And I don't know if that's a good idea to base your success in America on a reality show, because it works in Korea. Definitely people get invested in groups that are created from reality shows. Just look at NHYPEN. They were formed from Island. There's Twice. There's IZ*ONE, Stray Kids, Winner. There's a lot of groups that are formed from reality shows in Korea, and then people like them, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to support them.
Right.
But in America, you're on a reality show, and then you win the show. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, people don't care afterwards. You know, only a couple people succeed. It's like American Idol winners. Like, very few of them are hugely successful. It's like just like Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood and Jennifer Hudson. She didn't even win, but she was just like so talented that she used that experience.
Most people are not that successful just because they won.
Yeah, it's like winning doesn't really help you in America. It's like people want to watch the show and then they're entertained by that, but then they're like, okay, next thing.
True.
They don't want to support your career necessarily.
That's right. So
I don't know if long term that's a good idea, because in America we don't get invested in reality show winners. But you know, it doesn't hurt to try, and even if you create an entertaining show, that in itself is a success, because I think entertaining shows are their own success. Similarly, HBO Max is creating a new series to find a new K-pop group, and they're looking for a K-pop group to come out of Latin America. So I think, wow, that's even more different. It's like, how are you K-pop, but then you're coming out of Latin America? And how does that work? So this is, it says the Warner Media-backed streamer HBO Max is developing the competition series with Korean media firm CJ ENM, the company behind Fox's I Can See Your Voice, and Endemol Shine Boomdog, the Spanish arm of Endemol North America, which produces series including MasterChef Mexico and Univision's Mira Quien Biela. So it's going to show, the show will follow a group of men from Latin America auditioning for the opportunity of a lifetime to fly to Korea to train under a K-pop system to launch the first K-pop coach Latin American supergroup. I don't know how that's going to work, because there's going to be so many language barriers with that.
I agree.
That just seems really complicated.
So it's a new show where people will fly over to be part of the K-pop system?
Yeah. Yeah, and both of these shows, they're training in Korea, it sounds like. But
I don't know about that.
I mean, I know K-pop is pretty popular in South America, especially Brazil. I just don't know if they
Latin American boy group?
Yeah, that just seems difficult.
I don't know about that. It's gonna be difficult.
Just like language differences,
Yeah.
and they have to go all the way to Korea.
But
Like,
you know what? It could turn into something though, because there's a lot of talent. I'm sure there's a lot of hungry young, like good looking guys who just want to be part of the music industry in Latin America. And they come to Korea and they're able to handle the rigors
the
of
system.
the system. Some people are tough. I'm not saying that nobody in Latin America is tough enough to handle it. Sure, there are some. And if they are, then they're going to come through it and they're going to be strong, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be strong and they're going to be the better for it. They might create a strong group. What company is doing this again?
Warner Media. And so,
Warner?
well, it's HBO Max
Okay.
is the main company in this. And they're partnering with CJ ENM, which is Korean. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people in many countries that are trying to get into music. And I think if you are keeping up with trends, you would know, okay, K-pop is a great place to try to succeed because that's growing a lot, especially in the Latin American sector. There's probably tons of fans. There's probably a big audience for it. And maybe they would really like Latin American people doing K-pop. Like, K-pop is the music that everyone likes, but having local people do it might really strike a chord with them. So, I mean, that could really succeed. I mean, I don't know. It depends how well they do with sorting out the talent and how people adjust to a different culture, training in Korea. It's a big difference, but, maybe it's not that big of a difference because a lot of times people in K-pop groups, they're from other countries and then they come over and they train. They don't know Korean. It's like, the idols that are from Japan or from China or whatever. And, they have to learn a totally different language too.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, that's just as different as coming from Brazil or something. So, yeah, I could see it happening. And I don't know if the audience in Korea is that open to like all the other countries doing K-pop, but I know the other countries, they probably want to see their local people doing K-pop. So I think it could be really popular in South America. Big Hit Entertainment, now known as HYBE, has been sued for copyright infringement over the reality K-pop TV series Island. The suit was filed in California on April 14th by a man named Brian Kahn, who says he's in the business of creating and producing television series and audio music. Brian Kahn claims that his idea for a similar show was stolen to create Island, and he named as a defendant in the suit CJ ENM America, the US-based subsidiary of South Korean entertainment giant CJ ENM, with which Big Hit created the show Island. And it's like, we just talked about that company who's creating the South American K-pop group. So this other guy from the US is saying that Big Hit stole his idea for Island. And as you know, Island was produced by Bang PD, and it was a reality TV show which ran from June to September 2020 and aimed to find the next K-pop stars for a male group. And from that show, NHYPEN was formed. So Brian Kahn claims that Island was his idea, although he called it Island Hip Hopping, and he registered the concept for the show with the Writers Guild of America in 2013. So I don't know if he has a case or not, but I don't know if...
I don't think he does.
I mean, there's a lot of shows where it's a talent-based competition show.
There's a lot of shows like that, right?
Yeah. It would have to be like very unique, and Island would have had to copy his concept exactly, which I don't know if it did.
Correct. I don't think it did.
And he says that he lived in Asia for 7 years, and so that's how he came up with the whole idea and the name of it. And he had shared this idea with this other guy, Eric Aguilar, and then I guess that guy eventually was kind of involved with, I don't know, somehow the idea of the show got to Netflix, and then they worked with CJ ENM to create Island with Big Hit. So somehow he's saying, oh, the idea got out through that one guy and it got stolen, and then Netflix or somebody kind of took his idea, which, I mean, you'll have to prove that, but okay. I just don't know if he has enough of a case because, I mean, reality shows existed before that were pretty similar, and I don't know if Island is that unique. It was just, okay, they all compete and then someone gets eliminated each week. I mean, I didn't watch Island, so if someone out there did watch it and if it's like super unique and compares to this concept that this guy is talking about, maybe he has a case, but I don't see it.
Well, I don't know. It's really difficult to prove these things, right? It's hard to prove these things.
I mean, it could be a very similar show just by coincidence. You know, people create reality shows all the time and maybe they would resemble each other. Like, you'd have to have so many things that were in common. And the other thing is, I don't think Bang PD is the kind of person who would just be like, yeah, I'm going to steal that concept because that's so great. Like, I don't think he would purposely do that because it seems like Big Hit has integrity. I really don't know for a fact, but they get sued for things and it doesn't really pan out usually when people sue them. But then maybe they just have a better team.
Maybe.
But
probably, right?
Yeah, and I think if you're a big enough company, people are going to pop out all over the place and be like, hey, you stole my idea or you did this or that to try to get money and settle, because when you accuse a big company, they might just tell you, oh, go away, and then like just settle the case for money, you know? So it almost doesn't hurt to just like bring up a lawsuit. But yeah, I just don't see Big Hit plagiarizing a show concept. They don't seem that underhanded. Like if they came up with Island on their own and it just happened to be similar, I could see that happening. I just don't think Bang PD is the type of person who would just completely steal an idea and just be like blatant about it. It's like, yeah, it's exactly the same, and I'm just gonna like
I agree.
Screw this guy over.
Right. I totally agree. He's not gonna do that. Not worth it. It's not worth it. Think about it.
I think it's worth it for the guy bringing up the lawsuit because, like, oh, you never know. Big Hit might just settle with me and then just hand me some money to go away. But yeah, he's trying to say that he deserves some of the profits from N-Hypen because of the show and their success and everything is like his concept. But yeah, I don't think he's going to get very far with that. So now we're going to make some K-pop predictions.
Oh, yeah. So since the news is so slow, we're going to do some predictions, just like random, whatever, predictions of what's going to happen, just for fun. I think that's fine.
Then we'll see how it all plays out.
We'll see how it all plays out because, you know, if maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong, right?
Yeah.
You go first.
Okay. I have probably a pretty basic one, but let's just start slow right now.
Okay.
I think Butter is going to be very successful when it comes out.
Oh my God, for real?
It's going to not be a flop.
Butter is going to be a successful thing? Really?
Maybe bigger than Dynamite.
That's your prediction, really? Well, I mean, it's a fair prediction.
I have other ones, but
that's a fair one.
That's the most realistic one that I have.
I don't disagree with it.
That isn't anything crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all. I think Butter will be very, very successful. I think that it's going to be a catchy song.
BTS are at the height of their popularity right now, so I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah, so nobody disagrees on that. Let me go with mine then, okay? Here's my prediction for what's going to happen in this year. Keep in mind, this is just like total speculation. If it happens, then I totally want credit for this, okay? You guys have got to come back to and just give me credit if this actually happens, okay?
It'll be on the record.
I think that Hybe in the next calendar year or so will acquire JYP.
Wow.
That's what I think will happen. Let me explain to you why this will happen.
But I thought JYP is successful.
No, it is. It is a successful company.
You can explain.
I will explain to you why. Hybe is just so flush with money. They have their valuation's at $5 billion or so, right? JYP's valuation's only about $1 billion. Here's what I'm thinking. These CEOs have a relationship, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's JYP's main conundrum at this point? He's created a very successful company, but what's the one thing that he cannot do right now?
doesn't
He
have...
cannot break into North America.
Yeah. I was going to say American
But
presence.
what is Big Hit's? What is their success story?
BTS.
BTS, who has dominated North America. So imagine your friend. I think they're still friends, right? Are they still friends? I don't know.
I don't see
maybe.
why not.
They probably are still friends. They're at least like cordial, right? Big Hit, they're dominating North America. But you know what they don't have? Big Hit doesn't have girl groups.
What about G-Friend?
What G-Friend songs are you singing right now? You don't sing any of that stuff, right? But what about Twice? What about ITZY? What about Nitsu, right? He sees that Blackpink has infiltrated the North American market, and he's wondering, why have my groups not infiltrated the North American market? Can Big Hit help with that? Maybe these two companies should merge, correct? Or maybe one should acquire the other, correct? Probably it's just Big Hit acquiring JYP at this point, because they're 5 times the... I looked at the market cap, so one is 5 times the other one. JYP will still have plenty of control or whatever, but it will help him reach into the North American market, which is what he desperately wants to do, which is what any rational CEO wants to do, right? They are a much smaller company at this point. I know it's hard to think about that. Probably if you're Korean or whatever, you're used to thinking of the big 3, right?
Right.
And Big Hit is not one of them, but that's old school thinking. New school thinking, which is adjusted for the realities of 2021, is that Big Hit or Hybe, they have a lot of capital. They just bought an American company that controls Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande.
But maybe they don't have money left to buy stuff
No,
anymore.
they still do. They still do. I calculated it. They still have the money. They can merge / acquire JYP and they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
JYP is willing to be bought though? Like, isn't there a lot of pride involved? Like, with someone buys your company.
Yeah, but think about it this way. We know that JYP and Big Hit CEO, they were friends, right? I wouldn't mind selling to my friend because my friend would still let me maintain a large amount of control, right?
Well, they'd probably let JYP still be its own label.
Yeah, exactly. They have their own building. They have their own everything. Think about how great ITZY is. ITZY is tailor-made for North America. They just need that little bit of a... If ITZY had a collaboration with BTS, imagine how big they would be in North America. Huge. It would be that simple. So I really think that, watch, in the next year, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but I would not be surprised if JYP is absorbed by Big Hit. Listen, Big Hit, they spent about $1 billion to acquire Scooter Braun, right? But they have more money. Do they want to spend it on the various real estate, this and that, whatever they were talking about? Or do they want to consolidate their control over the music industry? Big Hit, they don't have good girl groups, correct?
Right. They are still trying to develop
Exactly.
more girl groups.
What a great business partnership.
It would help everybody. And the thing is, when they get together, they're going to have more power overall for K-pop. So it's not going to be like, oh, BTS struggling to get on the radio and get Grammy nominations. Because if they're like one super company, then they're going to have a lot more influence.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. If they don't do it, I'm going to just... they should have done it. They really should have done it.
No, you might be right, because an alliance might be the best thing for K-pop, because it's like, why is Microsoft so powerful? They bought all these other companies and then they grew.
True. It would be a great thing for both of these companies.
And then he would let JYP still have all the creative control over his own groups.
Probably.
You know? That would be a good arrangement.
Yep.
That was a very bold prediction. It could happen, I mean, to benefit... If BTS goes to enlistment, it would have to happen like by the end of this year, I would think. Hybe bought up a lot of other companies already, so they're kind of running out of the smaller labels to buy. So they have to look at the bigger companies. Should I have a prediction then next?
Yeah, sure.
Most of mine are not going to be as big as that.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's see. I think we will not see another Blackpink album this year.
You don't think we'll see another Blackpink? Oh, why?
Because they just did one at the end of 2020.
Okay.
I don't think 2021 they're going to do that, because they're doing Rose's solo, and then next is Lisa's solo, and then okay, by the time we're near the end of the year, it's like someone else's solo. You know, it's like they move so slowly. I don't think 2021 will have another Blackpink album with the 4 members.
I see. That's your prediction?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it's a good counterpoint because one of my predictions, my other prediction for the year, it's totally contradictory to that.
So one of us has to be right then.
One of us has to be right, one of us has to be wrong. So this is perfect, okay?
Okay.
My prediction is that we will get more Blackpink content than ever. That's my prediction. Now, here's why I say that. Since there's been new management, then, you know, they switched management, right? Because people had to step down. We've gotten more content, right? We have to admit that. We've gotten more content since there's been new management. And they're really the only thing carrying YG, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So any new rational management probably has to acknowledge that, hey, if the thing to carry this company, we got to put out as much Blackpink product as possible. So I believe that you're going to get more Blackpink content than ever, not only from the group, but also from the solo projects. They're going to have more solo projects than you probably think. Why not? Because it's like this group is like, it's pushing the whole company at this point. So I think you're going to get Blackpink projects. I think you're going to get Rose projects. I think you're going to get Lisa, for sure. You're going to get Lisa projects. You're going to get Jennie projects. I don't know that you're going to get Jisoo projects because
she's acting, so
yeah,
that's
she's
her
not
project.
A great singer or whatever. But you're going to get all of these things, okay? You're going to get more Blackpink product than you've ever had in the past. And that is different than in years past, right? Because you got barely any.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get tons in the next year.
Okay. That's optimistic. I just don't know if I see...
That's my opinion.
I don't know if I see the increase in work ethic from...
Work ethic?
YG.
I mean, well, Blackpink has the work ethic. I mean, if Blackpink wants to work, which I think they do, then they'll do it. It's just up to whether YG will create the content.
Well, the other thing YG has going for them is that they've made those deals with Hybe, right? So that should be helping them in theory.
Yeah, I guess.
Because Hybe invested in, they own part of YG now. So they would want to see some results.
You would think? I think it's more has to do with just the entire company just rests on them at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, are there any, is G-Dragon doing anything?
No, but that's what the problem is with the pandemic. Because remember, Big Bang was supposed to make a big comeback at Coachella, and they were going to get back together.
Sure.
Remember that? And then, but then, I mean, that, of course, that concert didn't happen, but then they didn't get back together either. They didn't create an album. So it seems like that opportunity passed by. But yeah, so right now, Blackpink is still the main driver in YG.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know why they don't do more with their other groups too. Like, they could do more with everybody.
The thing is, yeah, I don't know.
They didn't manage Winner very well.
What do you mean they didn't manage Winner very well?
Because there's only 4 of them, and it's like, oh, 2 of them got sent to the military, and then, I mean, not that they have a say in when they go or whatever, but they could have had a plan to have them all go at the same time. Right. But, and now they've released like different solo projects from the Winner people, but
they probably should have released it at the same time.
They should have all gone at the same time, but then all had solo projects while they were gone or something.
Right.
You know?
I agree. But what can you do? What can you do? That's how they handled Winner.
And Big Bang, like, they were supposed to make a comeback, and then I understand, okay, Coachella didn't happen, but still, they didn't really do anything about it, you know?
No, it's garbage. But then what are you going to do? Also, Big Bang is not the same as, like, at this point, are you serious? It's not even the same as Blackpink.
Yeah.
Blackpink is a much bigger operation than Big Bang. But like you said, Blackpink, can they stay together? Yes? Maybe? I hope so.
I think Blackpink has a lot of fans that where they have a lot of solo stands. Like, there's a lot of stands that support one person.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe YG might think at some point, like, maybe it's better if they're just all solo.
Yeah, maybe it is better that they're all solo. That's something I've thought about as well. As much as it sucks, right? Maybe it is better they're all solo.
Yeah, I mean, fans like groups because then you get to see choreography and you get to see, multiple people together performing. But it seems like the Blackpink fans, they like them as soloists. They like them as individual people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, that might be
Yeah.
something they consider. Maybe when they see how successful the solo projects do, they'll be like, hey, yeah, do more solo stuff then. And then just kind of like we'll drift in that direction of everybody doing their solo things.
So you just gotta make solo projects for Lisa and Jisoo.
Yeah, I mean, and then give Jennie another song. Like, she only had one song. That isn't like, that shouldn't count as a full solo or anything.
It was a good one, though.
Did you have any predictions as far as like dating or like?
No, there's no dating and stuff. I only had business predictions.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No scandals.
Wait, hold on. Nope.
One.
Oh, you had something? Let's talk about it.
Like a meta prediction, like
Okay.
stans, Twitter stans. I don't think we're gonna see very much of Twitter stans like having these political movements anymore. You know how that was such a thing in 2020 when they tried to, hijack certain hashtags and then they tried to disrupt rallies and stuff like that for things they believed in, or they had a political point of view that they wanted to put across. I don't think we're going to see that really anymore because there isn't anything that they can really rebel against now, because who's in the White House is who these stands agree with now. So I don't think they have a lot of, disagreement with them. So I don't think we're going to see any like crazy hashtag takeover, something trending on Twitter that has to do with K-pop fans and something political. I just don't really see that.
That's a good thing in your opinion, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good if they just focus on K-pop stuff or what's happening in there. Yeah, it's just kind of a different atmosphere now. It's like people are more focused on other things than fighting with people online about stuff. That seems to have like calmed down a little more now. I do have a prediction about Hybe. I think at some point they're gonna do a joint concert, probably an online concert with the new artists that they acquired. So I think we're gonna have a combo within the same concert. So we'll have BTS plus Ariana Grande plus Justin Bieber, plus all the artists from both sides. Like, this could be a huge concert. And remember last year they did a really big New Year's Eve concert. So I mean, that could be a time to have like just a huge, Hybe family kind of concert. That would be a huge event. They could charge for that, although don't charge too much. But that would have a lot more big names now. So I think that would be a really big event, especially New Year's Eve. You're looking for really big A-list acts. So we'll see what pans out based on some of what we said today. Some very bold predictions. If we're wrong, we're wrong, but at least we put it out there. And we'll see. We'll see what happens in 2021.
Oh my God, can you imagine if I'm right? I'll gloat about it all day.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can find BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast platforms. New episodes weekly. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. Follow BTS Happy Hour on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also go to the website at btshappyhour.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for additional content. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.